Chosen one, I need you to breathe with me for a moment. Because what you're about to hear is not random. It's not coincidence. And it's definitely not in your head. There is a pulse moving through your spirit right now, not the heartbeat in your chest. I'm talking about something deeper, something higher, a divine vibration, a holy rhythm, a spiritual knock. And the reason you feel it, while other people continue scrolling, laughing, arguing, sleeping, is because you're in the 0.001%. You are part of the smallest group on earth who can feel heaven before it speaks out loud. You can feel the shift before the room changes. You can feel the storm before the clouds form. You can feel destiny approaching before it shows up in the physical world. And that's why you've been feeling strange. That's why you've been feeling restless. That's why you've been feeling like your life is speeding up, while time also feels frozen. Because you are sensing something that most people do not have the spiritual clearance to recognize. So if you've been asking, why am I the only one who feels this? Why does my body react to things no one else notices? Why am I receiving signs while others feel nothing? This message is your confirmation. Because the divine pulse you're feeling is the 0.001% sign. And today, heaven is going to explain what it really means. Chosen one, let's talk about what you're feeling. Because it's not normal anxiety. It's not just overthinking. It's not simply stress. The divine pulse is a spiritual signal. It's the way God taps your spirit to alert you. It often shows up like this: a sudden wave of emotion that has no logical source. An inner vibration in your chest, hands, or spine. A pressure behind your forehead. A strange stillness that makes you pause. Chills at the exact right moment. Hearing the same message repeatedly. A feeling like time slows down. Noticing patterns everywhere. The urge to isolate and go quiet. Waking up at specific times at night. And here's the part people don't understand. This pulse isn't just sensation. It's communication. It is heaven's language. While others need signs that are loud, external, dramatic, God speaks to you from the inside. Because you're the kind of soul who can hear whispers. The divine pulse is a spiritual frequency that begins to activate when your destiny is close. It's like heaven saying, "Pay attention. Something is coming. You are entering alignment." And because you're sensitive, because you're chosen, your spirit receives that message like a radio picking up a station nobody else can hear. You're not imagining it. You're tuning in. Now let's go even deeper. Why you? Why do you feel this divine pulse while others don't? Because you're not built like the crowd. You're not wired for average. You are spiritually designed for detection. Some people were created to fit in. You were created to pick up signals. That's why you can sense fake energy behind smiles, hidden motives behind compliments, danger before it happens. When someone is lying without proof, when something is off without evidence. You don't do this because you're paranoid. You do this because your spirit is upgraded. And yes, this is the part that hurts. You are often the only one in your family who feels it. The only one in your friend group who sees it. The only one at work who knows the truth underneath the surface. And that's why people call you too deep, too serious, too emotional, too quiet, too intense, too sensitive. But they don't realize your sensitivity is not weakness. Your sensitivity is your spiritual technology. It's your built-in warning system. It's the reason you survive what others don't. It's the reason you escape what traps others. It's the reason you keep dodging bullets you never even saw coming. The divine pulse is proof that you are not living a normal life. You are living a protected life. Chosen one, let me speak this clearly. The pulse you feel is heaven preparing you before the world changes. Some people only understand God after the miracle happens. But you feel the miracle while it's still forming. You sense the breakthrough while it's still invisible. You notice the alignment while it's still silent. That's why the divine pulse often hits hardest. Right before major shifts. Right before a sudden ending. Right before a new season. Right before a divine reveal. It's like God gives you spiritual weather alerts. And the reason is simple. Because if God gave your destiny to the average mind, they would destroy it with panic. They would talk too much. They would announce too early. They would overshare. They would chase attention. But you can carry mystery. You can carry silence. You can carry pressure. You can hold the seed until it's time. That's why heaven trusts you with this pulse. Chosen one, listen closely. Because if you've been experiencing certain strange feelings lately, feelings that don't have a logical explanation, this chapter is going to bring you clarity. This is one of those moments where heaven is pulling you aside and whispering, "Yes, that was me. Yes, I've been trying to get your attention. Yes, what you're feeling is real. And I know, you've tried to ignore it. You've tried to stay normal. You've tried to push through like nothing is happening. But deep down, you can't unfeel it. Because it's not just in your mind. It's in your spirit. It's in your body. It's in your atmosphere. This is the divine pulse. And when it activates, there are signs. Clear signs. Not signs the world can see, but signs your soul cannot deny. So let's go through them one by one. And while you listen, notice what happens inside you. Because the moment I speak the truth, your spirit will react. That reaction is another sign. Chosen one, this one is so important. Because a lot of you have been feeling this invisible restlessness. It's like you can't sit still mentally. You can't relax fully. Even when everything is okay. You don't feel okay. But here's the difference. You don't feel lost. You feel stirred. There's a difference between being lost and being called. Lost feels empty. But what you're feeling isn't emptiness. It's pressure. It's the feeling of something forming inside you. It's like your spirit is pacing back and forth saying, something is coming. Something is changing. We can't stay here forever. You may even find yourself doing strange things like switching your goals repeatedly, suddenly rearranging your room, deleting old contacts, changing your routine, questioning everything, wanting to start over, feeling like your current life doesn't match your future self. And you don't even know why. But heaven knows why. Because your spirit is outgrowing the old environment. Your destiny is pulling you forward like gravity. And even if your physical life hasn't changed yet, your inner world already has. That's the pulse. That's divine acceleration. Chosen one. This is when you realize something major is happening. Because the things you used to enjoy don't hit the same anymore. The jokes feel dry. The conversations feel repetitive. The entertainment feels noisy. The places you loved start feeling empty. You might even try to go back to your old interests and say, "Why doesn't this excite me anymore?" And this is where people get scared. Because when old desires die, it feels like identity loss. But it's not loss. It's refinement. It's God detoxing your appetite. Because you can't carry divine assignment while craving low-level stimulation. So what happens? Suddenly you don't want drama, gossip, pointless debates, toxic music, fake friendships, shallow attention. Not because you're acting better than people, but because your soul is hungry for something real. You don't want noise. You want meaning. You don't want hype. You want depth. You don't want to escape life anymore. You want to build a life that feels sacred. That is the divine pulse. That is heaven upgrading your taste. Now this one is personal. Because some of you have been pulling away, and you're worried about it. You're like, why don't I want to talk to anybody? Why do I feel irritated by people's energy? Why do I want to be alone so much? Chosen one. Listen. If you were depressed, you would feel hopeless. But what you're feeling is different. You feel like you're being called inward. Like something inside you needs silence. And you know why? Because when God is about to elevate you, He reduces distractions. Isolation isn't always punishment. Sometimes isolation is a spiritual classroom. Sometimes isolation is God saying, "You've heard everyone else, now it's time to hear me." This is also when you realize, some people don't drain you because they are evil. They drain you because they're misaligned. And your spirit can't pretend anymore. So you stop forcing calls. You stop forcing replies. You stop attending places that make you feel tired afterward. You start guarding your peace like it's a treasure. That's not you becoming cold. That's you becoming protected. That's you entering a holy season of preparation. Chosen one. When the pulse activates, heaven becomes loud in patterns. Not necessarily loud in voice, but loud in repetition. You might keep seeing the same numbers, the same words, the same phrases, the same type of videos, the same scripture appearing, the same topic coming up everywhere, the same animals, symbols, colors, the same song lyrics, the same dream theme. And you may say, "Is my mind just focusing on it?" No. It's your spirit becoming alert. Because God repeats what you're not responding to. He's not trying to confuse you. He's trying to confirm you. The biggest sign of divine pulse is, you keep getting the same message until you finally surrender. And when you surrender, the message changes. Chosen one. This sign feels like urgency. Not panic urgency, but spiritual urgency. Like you can't delay anymore. Suddenly your spirit is saying, "Enough. It's time. Move. Choose. Leave. Start. Stop. Commit." You may feel this with a relationship, a job, a business idea, a creative calling, a spiritual habit, a relocation, a personal discipline. It's like God is pulling you toward one door and shutting down the others. And this pressure can be uncomfortable, because part of you wants comfort, but your destiny wants growth. So the pulse becomes stronger, not to stress you, but to activate you. Because delayed obedience creates spiritual frustration. When you know what God is saying, but you keep waiting, your soul starts feeling heavy. That heaviness is not punishment. That heaviness is a signal. You're resisting your next level. Chosen one, this is when you stop tolerating things you used to accept. Your tolerance drops. Your patience for foolishness disappears. Your spirit becomes allergic to fake. Suddenly you can't laugh at what used to entertain you. Stay quiet when something is off. Keep entertaining disrespect. Keep explaining yourself to people who don't listen. Keep being available for everybody. And you may feel guilty, but don't. Because that's wisdom. That's maturity. That's your spirit finally saying, "I can't afford spiritual leaks anymore." And you'll notice, you start valuing rest, peace, quiet, growth, prayer, discipline, honesty, alignment. You're not becoming distant. You're becoming selective. And chosen one. Selective is survival. Now this one is powerful. Because some of you feel like life is paused. Like nothing is happening. But deep down, you know something is happening. It's just not visible yet. It's like the world is moving. But your spirit is stuck in a doorway. You feel suspended. Like heaven said, "Not yet," but also said, "Get ready." And that space between "not yet" and "get ready" can feel confusing. Because you're not busy in the outer world, but you're exhausted in the inner world. Because you're being prepared. You're being built. You're being cleaned. You're being upgraded. Think of it like this. You're not waiting like someone stuck in traffic. You're waiting like someone loading a weapon, charging a device, fueling an engine, packing for a journey. getting dressed for a new life. You are not behind. You are in position. And the pulse is proof. The release is close. Chosen one, this is one of the clearest signs. When the divine pulse activates, your sleep pattern becomes spiritual. You may wake up at 2:22, 3:33, 4:44, 5:55. Or you may wake up suddenly, with your heart beating. But nothing is wrong. You might even feel like you're being watched. But not in a scary way. In a holy way. This happens because your spirit is awake while your body sleeps. God does deep work when you're unconscious. That's why you can't sleep like before. Because you're being aligned. And yes, sometimes you wake up because you're being called to pray. Not long prayers. Even 30 seconds. Just acknowledging God. That's enough. Because the pulse is active. Chosen one. This is the sensitive sign. Your body becomes a spiritual instrument. You'll feel sudden chills, heaviness in the chest, throat tightness, stomach tension, pressure in the forehead, buzzing in your hands, warmth in your heart, energy shifts in rooms, discomfort around certain people. And you might say, why is my body doing this? Because your spirit is reading energy faster than your brain can explain it. Your body is detecting spiritual alignment or misalignment. Your body is warning you. Your body is confirming things. And this is why you can't fake happiness. You can't pretend comfort. You can't force connection. Because your body will expose what your mouth tries to hide. That is divine pulse. This is the rarest part. You feel peace, but also intensity. You feel calm, but also alert. You feel like you're okay, but also like you're about to change forever. That mixture is proof you're in a divine transition. Because heaven's peace doesn't always feel like comfort. Sometimes peace feels like readiness, like focus, like silence before a storm. And the reason you feel intensity is because your destiny is close enough to touch your spirit. You don't see it yet, but your soul can feel it approaching. Chosen one. If you resonated with even 3 of these signs, that means the divine pulse is already active in your life. This isn't random. This isn't mood swings. This isn't you losing yourself. This is you entering alignment. And in the next chapter, I'm going to show you why the pulse sometimes feels like anxiety, and how the enemy tries to corrupt divine signals right when your miracle is near. Because you're not breaking down. You're breaking through. Now let's be real. Sometimes the divine pulse feels heavy. It feels like anxiety. It feels like pressure. It feels like something is wrong. But here's the truth. Your nervous system reacts when your spirit is expanding. Because your body is trying to process what your spirit already knows. Your body says, I don't know what's happening. But your spirit says, I know exactly what's happening. You are not broken. You are awakening. And listen carefully. The enemy loves to twist divine sensations into fear. That's why people who are about to level up often get hit with doubt, fatigue, confusion, temptation, distractions, sudden old enemies returning, emotional spirals. Because if the enemy can't stop your destiny, he will try to disturb your focus. But the pulse is heaven saying, keep going. You're close. Chosen one. There are seasons when God is silent, and seasons when God is loud. But there is a rare season where God doesn't speak in words. He speaks in frequency. That is the season you are in. The divine pulse is the soundless trumpet. It is the spiritual alarm. It is the holy countdown. And the reason the pulse is growing stronger is because your season is about to change fast. Some of you are about to experience sudden opportunities, unexpected doors opening, people returning with apologies, financial breakthroughs, public recognition, spiritual gifts activating, a divine relationship aligning. a relocation, a total identity shift. And the reason it's coming fast is because it's been delayed long enough. Heaven does not waste pain. Heaven does not waste waiting. Heaven does not waste loneliness. Every tear you cried in private was watering a future you haven't seen yet. The pulse is the sign. It's time. Chosen one. Let's address the loneliness. Because this is the part that makes people quit. You feel this pulse, but you don't have anyone who understands it. You try to explain it, and people look at you like you're crazy. So you stop talking. You stop sharing. You stop trusting. And you start isolating. But listen, your separation is not rejection. Your separation is protection. Because if you stayed around people who couldn't feel the pulse, they would convince you it wasn't real. They would shame your sensitivity. They would mock your spiritual awareness. They would drain your energy, and then call you weak. So God removed you. Not because He hates you, but because He's guarding what's inside you. Chosen one, some people will not understand the divine pulse, because they are asleep in their spirit. And you cannot wake sleepers by force. You can only become so bright that your light becomes undeniable. Now listen closely. This is where it gets serious. The divine pulse does not activate for entertainment. It activates when heaven is assigning you something. This is the part people don't want to hear. But the chosen ones already know. When God gives you higher sensitivity, He also gives you higher responsibility. The pulse means you are about to be sent. You are about to be used. You are about to carry something that will change lives. That's why you're feeling pressure to mature, pressure to clean up, pressure to let go, pressure to stop certain habits, pressure to forgive, pressure to get disciplined, pressure to focus. Because your gift is not a toy. It's a tool. And God does not release powerful tools into irresponsible hands. So if you've been feeling convicted, if you've been feeling like you can't keep doing certain things, that's not guilt. That's God shaping you for your assignment. Chosen one, here's how you handle it. Not everyone deserves access to your reality. Let people misunderstand you. Let them think you're different. You are different. Because it is. Energy is currency. Stop spending it on people who can't afford you. Because the pulse often contains hidden instructions. Sometimes the message comes later, but the feeling is your first clue. Some people are spiritual leeches. They will sense your upgrade and try to reconnect right before your breakthrough. Be wise. You don't need long prayers. You need real ones. God, guide me. God, cover me. God, reveal the next step. God, remove distraction. The pulse is not telling you to panic. It's telling you to prepare. Chosen one. Most people are trained to live through logic only. They only believe what they can touch. They only respect what they can prove. They only follow what looks popular. But divine pulses don't come to the crowd. Because the crowd cannot protect sacred things. The crowd talks too much. The crowd doubts too fast. The crowd is easily influenced. But you can hold silence without collapsing. You can endure isolation without breaking. You can stay faithful without applause. That's why you're in the 0.001%. Because heaven isn't just looking for believers. Heaven is looking for carriers. Carriers of truth. Carriers of light. Carriers of power. Carriers of assignment. And chosen one. You were born to carry. Let's go deeper. The pulse is not only a sign of destiny. It's also a navigation system. Sometimes it alerts you. Don't go there. Don't trust that person. Don't take that deal. Wait. Move. Speak. Be silent. That's why you've had moments where you avoided something and later realized you dodged disaster. That's why you left certain relationships and later found out what they were hiding. That's why you didn't accept certain opportunities and later saw they were traps. The pulse has been saving you, and now it's leading you into your next chapter. Chosen one, I need you to hear this like a spiritual hug. You're not crazy. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're not too much. You are called. And the divine pulse inside you is the fingerprint of heaven, the proof that God marked you, the proof that your life has direction, the proof that your story is not normal. Because if you can feel the pulse, that means God is still working on you, still guiding you, still speaking to you, still protecting you, still shaping you, still upgrading you. And even if nobody understands you, heaven understands you. Now listen carefully, because I must speak truth. If you ignore the pulse long enough, you will fall into spiritual numbness. You'll start forcing what God is trying to align. You'll start chasing what God is trying to remove. You'll start calling your blessing delayed, when the truth is, you refuse to shift. The pulse is heaven being merciful. It's a gentle alert before life gets loud. So don't ignore it. Don't silence it. Don't drown it out with noise. Don't bury it with distractions. Because the pulse is the map to your next miracle. Chosen one. Once you understand what the pulse is, you stop fighting yourself. You stop calling your sensitivity a problem. You stop seeing your emotions as weakness. You stop apologizing for your depth. You stop shrinking. You stop begging people to understand. Because now you know. You weren't designed to be understood by everybody. You were designed to be assigned by God. And once you accept that, peace enters your life. You don't need validation. You don't need approval. You don't need permission. Because heaven already chose you. Let's end with this final truth. The divine pulse doesn't come when you're far away. It comes when you're close. It comes when your breakthrough is near. It comes when your gift is about to activate. It comes when your season is changing. It comes when heaven is moving. So if you feel it right now, congratulations. Not because it's easy, but because it's proof. You're about to step into something huge. Something sacred. Something that will make the old pain make sense. Chosen one. If you've made it this far, it's because this message found you on purpose. So I want to speak a prayer over you. May God sharpen your discernment. May God silence confusion. May God remove every counterfeit connection. May God protect you from spiritual envy. May God strengthen your mind. May God stabilize your emotions. May God increase your wisdom. May God reveal your next step. And may this divine pulse become the rhythm of your destiny. Because you are not ordinary. You are not forgotten. You are not late. You are not disqualified. You are in the 0.001%. And heaven is calling you forward. Chosen one, comment below. I feel the divine pulse. And if you're ready for your next season, comment, I am ready. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who's been feeling the shift but couldn't explain it. Because this message was never meant for the crowd. It was meant for you. Chosen one, before you go, I want to speak to the givers, the ones whose hearts feel called to pour back into the vessel that pours into them. If this message awakened you, if it strengthened you, if it spoke to your spirit in a way only heaven could orchestrate, then I invite you, only if your heart feels led, to sow a $1 seed into this channel. Not because God needs it, but because giving is a spiritual law. A small seed carries big obedience. And God multiplies what is given with pure intention. Your $1 keeps this ministry alive, keeps the messages flowing, and helps this word reach the next chosen one who needs it. If you feel that nudge in your spirit, if you feel that gentle pull, you can plant your $1 seed using the link in the description. And if you can't or don't feel led, you are still loved, still seen, and still covered. Blessings to every giver, and blessings to every listener. Your seed moves heaven in ways you may never see, but God sees it all.